first thing to look at is that Romania is a land of gypsies. Romanian people often get so annoyed, and rightfully so, when foreign media portray them as being gypsies. The thing to note though is that gypsies are a minority in Romania, making up only 3% of the entire population. And when it comes to gypsies specifically, don't expect all gypsies to be beggars and ready to steal from you. There is a whole world and culture with the gypsies that it'll surprise you once you start learning about some of their traditions and practices. They're very fascinating people. Romania is the land of Dracula. Count Dracula is one of the most famous characters related to Romania, but he actually isn't even really linked to the country in any way. Dracula is often associated with Vlad the Impaler, who was the former ruler of Wallachia, but Dracula is just a fictional vampire created by the Irish writer Bram Stoker. Dracula doesn't even show up in any Romanian folklore or literature, and also there aren't any hordes of vampires roaming around the place. Another thing people believe about Romania is that Romanian is similar to Russian. Because Romania is located close to Russia and it's surrounded by other Slavic speaking countries, people often think the Romanian language is similar to Russian and that people from Romania understand Russian. Romanian, however, is actually a Romance language similar to French, Spanish, and Italian. Also, everything is cheap in Romania, right? While travelers may expect lower prices when visiting Romania, it really depends on what you're actually buying. So if you're out to buy food, you're gonna see that it's somewhat cheaper than in Central and Western European countries. However, if you're buying things like gas to fuel up your vehicle or clothing, you can expect to pay the same amount as in Central and Western Europe. Oh my god, and this is huge, stray dogs. So this belief stems from Bucharest, the capital city of Romania. Why? Because stray dogs were once a big problem for many years. But now when visiting the capital, you may see a stray dog here and there if you're lucky. But while you may see the stray dog here and there, the numbers of stray dogs have drastically been reduced, especially since the year 2014. So that lie you can just toss out with the rest of them. And Romania is dirty? Have you heard this one? Okay, so Romania does have a lot of variation in the look of its architecture, which may look odd to some foreigners. However, the streets of Romania are kept pretty clean. On top of that, the city of Cluj-Napoca in Romania ranked #1 in Europe for air quality, and this was based on a study by the French magazine Oui Demain. There also is a belief that Romanians are poor. Romania is often qualified as a poor country, and people who haven't visited think that it's an underdeveloped country as well. Well, it's true. Yeah, the average take-home salary is much less than countries like Germany and France, but the cost of living in Romania is lower, so you gotta take that into account as well. Also, in 2017, the economy of Romania was the fastest growing in the entire European Union. Guys, did you know that Budapest is the capital of Romania? Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I have messed this one up in the past. Budapest, it sounds so much like Bucharest, like it's an honest mistake, like for real. So I get why people believe that Budapest is Romania's capital. And some of you watching are probably like, wait, isn't Budapest its capital city? No, it's not. Bucharest is the capital. And I know I'm pronouncing it wrong because I have a Canadian accent, but I think it's like Bucharest. I think that's closer to the actual Romanian pronunciation. Second last thing I want to share is that some nations believe Romanian immigrants come to steal their jobs. And this is also linked to the all Romanians are gypsies belief. There was this big thing, especially over in the UK, where in 2014 there were reports about a ton of new Romanian and Bulgarian workers moving to the UK. But UK's former Prime Minister David Cameron came out with a statement saying that Romanians work hard, pay taxes, and are valued by their employers. They're not here to steal your jobs, they're just normal people trying to make an honest living. I'm sorry, Romanians. And the final thing I want to share is Romania is dangerous. Romania still suffers from the stigma attached to it in the 90s when there was an increase in theft as well as taxi drivers cheating passengers out of money. But things have changed a lot, and if you're still worried about traveling alone, Uber and other apps are great alternatives to street taxis. It's also still recommended that you take precautions like traveling anywhere in the world though. Like, I've been robbed in the streets of Canada, and Canadians are people who are known to say sorry, even if you're the one who accidentally bumped into them. So it happens anywhere you go. Okay, so starting off with number 10, Romanians are not religious. So although you can find witches, fortune tellers, and people of all sorts of beliefs or no beliefs in religion or spirituality at all, in Romania, almost all Romanians are Orthodox Christian. Now, a lot of them don't attend church regularly, but they still identify as Christian. So religion is a huge part of Romanian culture, and the Orthodox Church still stands strong as an institution in Romania. Pilgrimages also happen around the country where thousands of people attend. The next lie is Romanians are all just hanging garlic in their houses. What, to scare off vampires? Yeah, because apparently garlic scares off vampires and evil spirits in the movies, books, and TV shows. So because of this, many people think that Romanians are hanging garlic in their homes to keep back the vampires and evil spirits. That's not the case, guys. Romanians use a lot of garlic in their foods. We all know that. But the only reason that people are hanging garlic braidings in their houses is to preserve them for a longer period of time. That makes sense now. Now, this is a pretty big one, the treatment of children. So there's a lot of political interest and pressure that's put on the Romanian government to allow international adoptions for the children in Romania. So there might be some biases in reporting the stories involving the children. We know Romania has a lot of orphans due to certain events that happened in the past, which I talked about in another video I did about Romania. But Romania is doing what it can to provide a better life for these orphans, and there's probably more that can be done by the church and the community on a whole, but to say that the country is mistreating its children is just a big lie. Another one is Romanians are gypsies, so pretty similar to one that I touched on in part 1, but I'm going into a little bit more detail. So the official name of the gypsy ethnic group is Romani, and not to be confused with Romanians, which is an unrelated ethnic group and nation, but people still make the association with Romanians and Romani people. Also, there are gypsies all around the world. You'll find them in the United States, Brazil, and other countries in Europe. The Romani originated in India, and they left sometime between the 6th and the 11th century. Romanians don't speak English. Well, you just gotta go and stop anyone on the street, especially below the age of 40, and you'll find that you'll be able to have a fluent conversation in English. Romania is also a francophone country. It also has a large number of Italian and Spanish speakers. Number 5, Romania is all country land. Okay, yes, Romania has a lot of beautiful, authentic villages and everything. You know, people live in a very traditional way in many parts of the country, but Romania also has a big and busy city life that has nightclubs and museums and theaters. So you just gotta go check it out, explore the country, and you'll find some pretty developed places that will definitely keep you up at night. Romanians love to have fun too. So are bears actually really easily seen in Romania? Although Romania has one of the largest populations of bears in Europe, it does not mean that you'll encounter some bears the moment you enter the country. Bear watching, of course, is a big hobby that you can do in Romania, but of course you gotta travel to designated places in the mountains where bears usually look for food, and even then you're not guaranteed to even spot a bear. So that should make a lot of you breathe a lot easier. The thought of seeing a bear close up can be a scary one. Yeah, no, they're not just wandering around just in public like that. Romanians serve pickles with everything. So many people expect to see some pickles on the table whenever they go into a Romanian restaurant. Now, it's true that many traditional Romanian dishes are served with pickles, right? Especially during the winter season. But fresh salad is also a common addition to foods. Pickles are more common in restaurants that specifically serve traditional Romanian foods. So yeah, I just couldn't imagine having pickles with every single food. That would just be weird, guys. Romania also has terrible roads. Okay, so this one is not necessarily a complete misconception. Even Romanians will tell you this, that the roads, some of them, especially in the capital Bucharest, are pretty bad. Potholes are a big problem. However, there's many roads leading out of Bucharest and other tourist destinations that are actually pretty good. You'll find roads towards Brasov traveling a little bit slower, but they're pretty well kept. And the last lie about Romania is that it's just complete gray skies, it's like doom and gloom, it's dreary and completely miserable. people. While the capital, Bucharest, has the nickname of Little Paris, wartime as well as going through communism really destroyed a lot of its image. Now since then, many people who visit Romania have only spent a day or so in the country's capital before they go off into the mountains to explore or something. Now there's many books that describe Bucharest as a place that is full of high-rise buildings but lacks character, and on a whole pretty gray. But no, you just take a look at the city. Even in the summertime, like the sun just shining, like the city really lights up. And even in the winter time, there's still amazing buildings, and even on certain non-popular streets, you'll find some pretty impressive architecture there as well. So some things you just have to go and experience yourself.